Well, first, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, January 13th, and let's go ahead and call our first meeting, a public meeting about 2026 of our county to order. Can I please have our clerk call the roll?
Supervisor Abikola.
Here.
Supervisor Jung.
Here.
Supervisor Ellenberg is absent. Vice President Aranas.
Here.
President Lee.
Good morning, President.
You do have a quorum.
Thank you. So if you're in the chambers and require the Spanish or Vietnamese translation devices are available at the back of the chambers. The clerk can assist you with the setup. Translation is also available on Zoom using an interpretation button. Additionally, as a gentle reminder for public commenters, staff, and those of us on dais, please speak clearly and at a measured pace directly into the microphone to ensure accurate translation. And this morning, may I also please have, let's see, how about Supervisor Young to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Gladly. Please stand if you're able. All right, ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
This morning, our invocator is Yosimar Reyes, our Santa Clara County Poet Laureate. And I believe we have a video to play from Supervisor Ellenberg.
And Happy New Year, everyone. I am very sorry not to be in chambers today. I am in Washington, D.C., attending a conference with all of the state association presidents from across the country, as well as the executive directors. And I think I have shared that I am the 2026 president of the California State Association of Counties. I'm looking forward to being a very active and strong advocate for Santa Clara County and the rest of the state throughout this year. Today, to begin today's meeting, it is my deep honor to introduce today's invocator, Yosimar Reyes. Yosimar is the current Santa Clara County Poet Laureate and was previously named the 2024 Creative Ambassador for the city of San Jose. Yosimar is a writer, poet, and performer, and is widely recognized for his compelling storytelling and for centering the undocumented community and the queer experience with honesty, compassion, and power. His autobiographical solo show, Prieto, is a recipient of the Gerbaud Special Awards in the Arts and has toured nationally, reaching universities and cultural institutions across the country. Yosimar also serves as the performing artist in residence at MACLA, where his work continues to be rooted in community, memory, and resistance. As we begin 2026 and reflect on new beginnings, I am so grateful for Yosimar's voice and perspective. I also want to acknowledge and thank SV Creates for helping to make this first invocation of 2026 possible. And with that, please join me in welcoming Yosimar Reyes to deliver this morning's invocation.
So beautiful to be here. Happy New Year. Feliz Año Nuevo. My name is Yosimar Reyes. I am a proud product of Eastside San Jose. This is the place where I learned to write poetry, where I discovered poetry. And yes, I'm going to do this poem that was inspired by everything that we're witnessing right now. I think it's very bleak times sometimes it feels, but I love the way in which we show the way in which our community shows up for each other. And so I think I wrote this poem thinking about that. There's something beautiful about being human, something extraordinary about being empathetic, allowing your heart to recognize someone else's need, someone else's longing, so intuitively your body responds. You offer water to those who are thirsty, a meal to someone who is hungry, shelter to someone in destitution. It reminds you of the blessing that is to exist as a collective. This world is harsh. It teaches us individuality, but we are not robots. You and I are all flesh, all heart. We did not make it here alone, not without someone pouring into our spirits, not without someone seeing us, fully seeing us before we could recognize ourselves. This life is reciprocal. You give what you can, you receive what you need, and yes, sometimes our worlds feel too heavy to carry, too heavy to pause, too heavy to lend help, but that is the magic of community, of believing we are all in this together. Those who speak of God must understand that this universe requires all of us, you and me, existing in mutual care, mutual respect. And right now, times are bleak. So many of us are under attack. So many of us feel unseen, unprotected, neglected. But if people refuse to see our worth, at least we have each other to mirror it back. Today, I see you for all you have endured, for all you continue to carry, for all the ways you show up anyway. I see you and I thank you for helping me recognize my own magic. I am grateful to coexist with you. We move forward, and as all this crumbles, I know this. I am with you, weathering to the storm. We move forward together. Muchas gracias. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Muchas gracias. All right. I believe on item 4 and 5, we really don't have any this morning, so we move right into public comments, item 6, which is an item reserved for the members of the public to address the board on any items not on this agenda. Any public who would like to speak on items not on the agenda should request to speak at this time. Please fill out the speaker card to return it to the clerk. We'll call up to 30 names now, and then the remainder names will then be called at the end of the agenda. In-person speakers will be called first, followed by our Zoom speakers. No further requests to speak will be accepted under continued public comment. Reminder for public on Zoom, as soon as the first speaker in the chamber starts speaking, there will be no more speakers being taken. During public comment, to respect everybody's comments, we do not allow applause or boos. To show your support, you could raise and shake your hands quietly, and I just want to say thank you for your cooperation in keeping our meeting moving orderly. Clerk, how many speakers do we have today?
I currently have 12 speakers in person and 1 on Zoom for a total of 13 speakers.
13 speakers, then let's do 2 minutes each.
All right. Thank you. We are now closing the queue, and we'll start. I'll call several people up. You may speak in any order. We'll start with James Cooper, McKenna Cooper, Malia McLaughlin, Cole Cameron, Robert E., and Cindy H. Go ahead, speaker is built in. You may begin speaking.
Hello, my name is James Cooper. I'm the father of 2 Gilroy FFA students, one of whom is a senior this year. I would like to speak about the proposed date change and lack of adequate notice for the 2026 County Fair. The County Fair has an 81-year history of supporting our youth who show an interest in agriculture. The state of California is the top in the U.S. in the production of agriculture, which includes produce from the Santa Clara County Valley. The FFA organization, along with the raising and showing of an animal at the fair, introduces students to the lessons of raising the food that feeds our nation. It also teaches them how to operate a successful business. This is done by purchasing and raising a market animal, and then the final sale of the animal at the county fair. The proposed date change will make it impossible for my 12th grader to show an animal, as she will be headed to college during the dates that are proposed. The Gilroy High School administration has already stated that Gilroy FFA will not be able to participate during the proposed dates. Other schools may also do the same. Last year's fair included 33 animals from the Gilroy FFA. The lack of livestock participants will greatly minimize the actual purpose of the fair. Some students have already purchased animals as required to show for the original dates of the fair in 2026. These animals will reach their market peak during the original dates and will not be eligible to be shown at the later dates, as they will be overweight. I respectfully ask the council to meet with the fair director to see if a fair or livestock show could still be held during the original dates. And thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is McKenna Cooper, and I am currently serving as the Vice President of the Gilroy FFA chapter and the Santa Clara FFA section. I have shown livestock at the Santa Clara County Fair for the past 3 years. I'm speaking on behalf of my fellow livestock exhibitors, all of whom are heavily impacted by the sudden change to the fair dates this year. The fair director chose to change the dates unbeknownst to us exhibitors and our FFA advisors. The dates chosen are later in the month than usual, and they conflict with the start of school for several school districts in the county. As a result of this change, our district will not allow Gilroy FFA to attend the fair because it conflicts with the first week of school, and there are several other schools faced with similar situations. Although the absence of so many 4-H and FFA livestock may be overlooked now, it will be striking to see the expo hall that was once filled with animals, kids, and fair patrons be almost empty, even after the Santa Clara County Fair has strongly supported livestock exhibitors for 81 years. Showing livestock at the fair has been an amazing opportunity that FFA and 4-H members are so grateful to have. These projects not only teach us about how to care for animals, they teach us about finances, commitment, and responsibility. The change to the fair dates would prevent Santa Clara County FFA and 4-H members from showing at the Santa Clara County Fair. On behalf of my fellow livestock exhibitors, I would like to ask the board to speak with the fair director regarding the situation, and for any future changes to the dates to be discussed with all stakeholders, ensuring that our voices will be heard. Thank you.
Thank you. And for the record, FFA stands for the Futures Farmers of America, correct? Thank you.
Ranked choice voting sounds fair, but it's a deceptive mess. It confuses voters, ballots get complicated, mistakes pile up, it delays results. Fraud becomes harder to detect, by design it seems. Voters lose trust in the process. It favors fringe candidates, not moderates, as evidenced. Extremists can sneak through. Look at San Francisco and Oakland and their recalls. It's not transparent. Algorithms decide winners. It's not auditable. Simple majority is clear and direct, and it works. RCV models democracy. It doesn't assure it, as evidenced. It's a gamble with our elections. Don't fall for the lobbyist lies and bribes. Stick with what works. And despite the lies, it's not cheaper. We know that.
Yes, please come up. Next speaker.
Good morning and Happy New Year. And we all know that Measure A, the sales tax increase in Santa Clara County, passed with strong support from District Attorney Jeff Rosen, public safety unions, and sheriff, because they received assurance from county officers that some fund would support criminal justice and safety programs, not just health care. That's why in the end of October, all of them decided to support Measure A, if you still remember that. But now District Attorney Jeff Rosen believed they were deceived after county officers say it will be all go to the health care. I kindly remind the supervisors, these were your words and promises that convinced key stakeholders to back the measure. Support that was crucial for its passage. Today, we simply ask for full transparency on the final allocation of this fund and basic accountability to ensure they reach the intended purpose. Thank you for your attention and your commitment for our community trust. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Malia McLaughlin. I'm the current chairperson for the Veterans Commission, and I'm here to plead, especially for Supervisor Arenas and Supervisor Young, to please, you have openings for our commission. Could you please go forth and do some action on appointing someone? That is all I'm requesting. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Try that again. Here we go. Thank you. Yeah, we'll start over on the time. Yes.
I won't need it all. I just really appreciate the opportunity to have Malia and Rob, our vice chair, step in, replacing me as I become just a commissioner for a while until I move on to the emeritus status. What she said, please. I've been here for 6 or 8 months asking for the same thing, and I hope her softer, gentler voice might be heard this time. There's another item on the agenda that I couldn't frankly find specifically that also I think supports vets, and I hope that that is considered also. I'm an old farm boy from Tulare County, so I have Future Farmer of America all around me all the time as a child, and I'm really happy that the Coopers have brought forward a concern that I support also, and that some action is taken to make that change and dates back to when it was, so there's not a conflict between school with these kids moving forward in a possible career. We really need them. So again, thank you very much for all your support, all the big and small things you've done in so many different ways, and that you can support our vets that provide that freedom to do anything we want. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to call forward our next set of speakers, and I'll ask in-house speakers. Our microphone is built into the podium, so if please keep your cell phones away from the microphone, and it will avoid the feedback. So our next set of speakers are Brian B., Alice K., Megan Davies, Mark Trout, Raymond Goins, and Monica Sim, and you may speak in any order. Please just announce your name. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Megan Davies. I am the mom of 3 high schoolers who are members of Gilroy FFA. The Santa Clara County Fair changed the dates this year to August 14th through the 24th. Which is the first week of school when it has historically been held in the summer, late July, early August. It was communicated the reason for this change was to secure a multi-year carnival contract. This is blatantly disrespectful and unfair to livestock students, dismissing their time and money invested. I attended and voiced my objection to this abrupt and unsolicited change at the Santa Clara County Fair meeting on December 15th and also the December 16th county meeting. My specific situation is that my senior will be unable to complete raising his steer or come back to show and sell his animal as his college is not local and will already be in session. It is unjust that he has invested thousands of dollars for his steer project with no consideration or respect for his financial or time investment. His steer was purchased in September. The fair date change was not announced until December. There was zero change management applied to such a drastic change in fair dates. At the December 15th fair meeting, Mrs. Duarte said 25 head of cattle are shown at our fair. $100,000+ is at risk for steer kids who have already purchased animals. It is extremely unfortunate that the Santa Clara County Fair has lost sight of our future, the youth of our county, who will continue to make their impact on our world and will be our future leaders. Raising livestock teaches our ag youth lifelong skills such as time management, financial planning, leadership skills, etc. We have nothing if we don't have a strong agricultural root. I understand that the fair is a business, but to be so severely short-sighted of the big picture and only focused on financials is a tremendous shame. My hope is that the livestock portion of the fair can still be held this year at the long-standing dates. Then, fair date changes can be considered.
Good morning, President Lee, board, and administration. Before I get started, what I want to talk about, since I have an extra minute, I want to say thank you to the Future Farmers of America for being here. I'm really sorry that you have to be here, but our board is not serious. That is the truth. Our county is not representing its taxpayers and its residents. That's a big problem, and that's why I'm here. I'm hopeful that they will find a way to accommodate your request here, especially with the investment that you folks have made. But when it comes to money matters, again, they are not serious. Last November, we had another election, and we had another problem with vote counting and the voting system. As you know, I and other election observers have been here to report issues with the county's voting system vendor. This vendor has a history of contractual noncompliance, and this county's leadership has lacked the courage to terminate that contract and claw back the contract value as is legally permitted. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars. I believe it is past time to terminate the county executive and the county council. They have failed to protect the taxpayers of this county. In a few minutes, they will be asking the board for permission to do more land deals when this county is broke. I challenge this board to demonstrate the courage that they claim they have and use the word no. Just like my mother used to say when we didn't have the resources in our family to do certain things. No. These same people were presented a budget last spring that was unrealistic. They knew it. And now we have a new sales tax, and the county's still in debt. There's still $1 billion shortfall here. So these people are not serious. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alice. I'm disappointed to see that both a Facebook ad and a case commissioner, Steve Chesson, used county's poorly planned and managed special election as a ruse to push for the false claim that ranked choice voting would save the county money. In every place that RCV was implemented, there was zero evidence that it saved county any money. Instead, each city and county was saddled with astronomical voter education costs election after election, still leaving the most vulnerable voters base confused and end up driving voter turnout even lower. Case in point, in Alaska, they budgeted $150,000 for voter education and ended up with over $3.1 million in one election just on voter education alone. This obvious of conflicts of interest and deception must stop now, okay? And I have many friends that have tried to apply for CASE. CASE is supposed to be protecting our election. And it's obvious, you can see with all the fraud, I mean, you know, the error that just came out, it's pretty embarrassing. So you need people that are nonpartisan, not one topic specific on ranked choice voting. We need people that are really knowledgeable and willing to do serious work in there. Okay, and we have gone to the case commission multiple times. And I have friends that apply for, not even consider. Okay, this county is not just for your ranked choice voting lobbyists. It's for everyone, and our election must be protected. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Rembin Goins. I am a community health worker who provides care for patients that are incarcerated here in Santa Clara County. And I also have the unique perspective as being a person that was once incarcerated here in Santa Clara County and was an inmate. I'm here to speak on the behalf of those people that are currently incarcerated here in Santa Clara County and throughout anywhere else. My standpoint here is we people elect officials into power to protect the people. But we forget about the people who are victimized by unjust laws that are enforced by law enforcement. Now, some of my brethren have fallen victim to incarceration and stand in our correctional facilities, and the care that they receive from medical is imperative to create a safer community for all of us. If they arrest people because they're a public safety threat to themselves and others, and we put them in an incarcerated situation, and they receive a lack of medical care because they are not have the opportunity to have proper medical care as everybody else, that becomes a public safety threat once they come home. Because when you incarcerate somebody that has an existing medical condition or mental health condition, and they are thrown into jail, that mental health and medical condition only is exacerbated. And doesn't help us when they do, or when they are released back in our community, which creates a system of survival back in how do I get care for myself, in which laws will then be broken because they have to provide for themselves. With the current cuts that the county we have received on a national standard, those populations will be directly impacted when they come home, whether it be they have insurance for medical care, for mental health care, reentry services, whatever other services that this county has provided to our population. It is imperative that we take care of our most marginalized first, take care of the roots of society that have been left behind by society, and see what that looks like. Water the roots. Let the roots grow seeds so that way we can see what the tree of our community it looks like, and we all can be filled with fruits, not just 1%. We are currently being oppressed, over police. Nationally, we see that ICE is going rogue in this country. Well, here in San Jose, we had our localized ICE. It was called San Jose Police Department, and I was a victim of that. So as time evolves, we have to do better as a people. We have to do better as a county. We all up here represent equality and equity. Let's show the county, let's show the country how we can lead. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Monica Simon. Good morning, members of the Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors. I'm here today to express our concern about the recently announced date change for the 2026 Santa Clara County Fair. This change was communicated only last month after animals had already been purchased and on feed for several months in preparation for the fair's traditional summer schedule. The proposed new date coincides with the start of the school year, whereas previous fairs have always been held during summer. This creates serious challenges for our youth exhibitors, especially graduating seniors and those completing their final year in 4-H or FFA. It jeopardizes their ability to earn their American degree, the highest honor in the organization, which depends on completing these projects. Beyond individual impact, this decision affects the entire community. The fair is more than an event. It's an educational experience that teaches responsibility, leadership, and agriculture literacy. These programs strengthen ties between urban and rural communities and prepare our future workforce. Disrupting this tradition on short notice undermines these goals. We understand the changes related to difficulties securing carnival rides during the usual time frame. While we appreciate those challenges, the livestock and youth programs are foundational to the fair's mission and should not be compromised. Therefore, we respectfully request two things. First, that the livestock portion of the 2026 fair be held during its normal summer schedule. Second, that adequate advance notice be provided for any future date changes so families and students can plan responsibly. Thank you for your time and your continued support of youth agricultural programs. We look forward to working together to ensure the success of the fair for everyone involved. Thank you.
Great job.
The fear of the Lord is to hate pride. That's what God says in the Holy Book. You know, the last time I was here, Sylvia walked out, and I don't know, sometimes we have to do that, make a visitation to the restroom, and I don't know if that's why she walked out, but she missed my speech, and she missed a parent's speech that's been calling in for like years. Every day I pray for that guy. I really do. I don't think he's lying. I don't think he's lying, okay? And this is one reason why I want Jesus to come back. He's going to kill the wicked. All the wicked will be destroyed. There'll be no unrighteous people on this earth. Now, you are in the capacity, okay, the office, even if you were vote frauded in, and I probably won city council in 2010, I guess it was, you know? But whatever, you're still here, okay? And I supposedly lost, but you're here. Even if it's through vote fraud, Nebuchadnezzar was king in Babylon, and they didn't vote, you know, in his days. So you have the power, I don't. But this is what God says about you, not me. Of course, it applies to everyone, but let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. For there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power resisteth the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. Look what's happening, though, with Stuart Rhodes and Rico Terrier, the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. That's what it says. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do good, and you'll have praise of the same. Wow. Read it, folks. It's God's word.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Parent.
Yes, hello, good morning to you all. I wanted to ask that no Measure A funds go to the district attorney's office. And that's because he's using public money to help sex traffic children in support of his political supporters. And he's also using money to incentivize his political supporters to assault parents who simply don't want their kids to be molested and are trying to protect their kids. And it didn't just happen to me, it's happened to other parents. And our district attorney is behaving in a reckless, in an abhorrent manner and destroying our community. And we should not give him a single penny more. And he's wasting money on Daniel Chung's salary. Mr. Chung just wanted to protect my kids, and now he wants to come back to work. He's always wanted to work, and Jeff Rosen has thrown away more than $800,000 of Daniel Chung's salary in the last 4 years. And let's not forget that Jeff Rosen previously altered timesheets to give millions of dollars, gifting millions of dollars to his top 15 attorneys with thousands of hours that he padded on their salaries. And you can't discount that he can do that stuff again. Please, Google DA Jeff Rosen, petition sex trafficking for more information on what he's doing to my children. Please don't give him any more money. Thank you for your time.
And this concludes our public speakers.
Yes, James, go ahead.
I just wanted to make one comment for those speakers who were commenting about the date of the county fair. I want to encourage you to reach out to the Fairgrounds Management Corporation Board of Directors. It's a separate board apart from county administration. FMC has the authority regarding the scheduling of events, including the county fair. They hold public meetings. It's a Brown Act body, much like the Board of Supervisors, and would encourage you to direct your comments to them. We don't supervise the executive director or the operation of the fair itself. That being said, we'll certainly reach out with an inquiry, but I just wanted to direct you to the right body regarding the scheduling of the fair.
Yes, Vice President Arenas, go ahead.
I also wanted to just thank you for coming in and sharing your concerns about the FFA and not being able to participate, and I'm so sorry that is happening. My team is also here to connect you with the right contacts so that we can make sure that you are heard. Thank you. Thank you for making it all the way here.
Thank you. And now we're moving on to our next item of the agenda. But before we move over, I just want to say, first of all, thank you for those who attended today's public hearing and public comments. And this is really one of those forums that really shows what the freedom of speech is. This is a country where you could speak for or against the government, unlike some places like Iran, where you can see the type of deaths that's happening when people are being suppressed on the speech, on criticizing government. You could say whatever you want practically up here to tell your elected leaders of what you feel what's right and what's wrong, but exactly what this freedom of speech is about, and we're certainly proud to hold that tradition. Thank you. All right, moving on to the next item of the agenda, which is the approval of the consent calendar and changes to the Board of Supervisors' agenda. Any of my colleague has any issues that you might want to change on the agenda. Actually, maybe I'll ask our clerk to read the proposed changes to the consent calendar first, and then we'll go from there. Rhonda? Morning.
Thank you. We have a correction to item number 8. The first sentence should read as follows. Item number 8 is a public hearing for the Santa Clara County Financing Authority Lease Revenue Bonds Capital Facilities 2026 Series A. There's a request from Supervisor Abicoga to remove item 43 from the consent calendar. Item 43 is to consider recommendations relating to corporate sponsorship, marketing, and advertising program. There's a request from administration to hold item number 48 to January 27th, 2026. Item number 48 is to approve Second Amendment to agreement with Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority relating to providing supplemental law enforcement services, amending the scope of services and cost recovery in an amount equal to the county's cost of providing services with no change to the term of the agreement. There's corrections to items number 51E and 51G. The items should reflect that they are jointly submitted by Supervisors Jung and President Lee, and 51E should read as follows. Item number 51E is to adopt commendation for the Federation of Reserve Officers Academies, Republic of Vietnam Armed Forces, for its dedication to preserving the heritage and traditions of the Reserve Officers Academies. Item 51G is to adopt the commendation for the South Vietnamese Navy veterans, NORCAL, for strengthening community ties and contributing positively to cultural awareness and public service. And this concludes our consent calendar update.
Thank you, Rhonda. Seeing no changes or no light. Oh, actually, Supervisor Jung, your light's on. Go ahead.
No changes on my part. Just a comment on item 41. I want to thank KJ and the staff for speaking with my office. I look forward to meeting with you and your team and more engagement about developments in District 2 and continued community engagement with our partners. I want to acknowledge our staff's commitment to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Rhonda, anybody in public would like to speak on these consent items?
I do have one person on Zoom.
Okay, let's do 2 minutes.
All right, we're closing the public speaker queue at one person. Parent, we've asked you to unmute.
Yes, I'd like to speak to item number 27. I am in complete support of re-electing President Lee as president for another term. I would like to see in this term, if President Lee is willing, to prioritize protecting my children, my 13-year-old son. He's already confirmed to me that my ex-wife was letting somebody rape him. There had been unnecessary bathing with the children. There was sexual contact between 2 of the children, and all of this stuff has had a severe impact on the mental health of my children. They became withdrawn and anxious all the time. And the problem is that my children have never gotten a screening, and they need one. And because of a conflict of interest and a retired judge and a well-connected attorney, they're involved and they want the sexual abuse to continue. The county is refusing to help my kids. And as far as I know, I mean, the law mandates that they get help. You can't just leave my kids to continue to be sexually molested. And I'd ask if President Lee, if you do get reelected and we vote yes on your new term, which I suspect that you will, if you could please help my kids get a screening this term. Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate your help.
Yes, I've
And that
stated
concludes
before.
our public speakers. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Yes, and as we have, California law does prohibit disclosure of information related to certain investigations of suspected child abuse, and that we are not authorized by law to speak to these specifics. However, our child welfare departments are required by law to immediately cross-report these type of issues with law enforcement, and public should be assured that our county does take these allegations of child abuse and neglect seriously and take appropriate actions. Thank you. Yes, Vice President Arenas?
Yes, I just wanted to comment on item 56 and thank the county executive for his leadership in making sure that the south part of our county has the Children's Advocacy Center built in a timely manner. This is a place where, under one roof, children and youth can receive counseling, assessments, forensic exams when there is abuse that is happening. And in the meantime, I know that we are expanding our taxi service and transport to San Jose CAC, the Children's Advocacy Center, and in the meantime, we're also going to have Community Solutions be somebody that, an agency that accompanies some of the families during the very difficult times. But I'm looking forward to breaking ground. I'm looking forward to actually having a structure out there that not only that represents a home for some of our children, but also a place that is nearby and just accessible. And so I'm really happy about this item and look forward to just having it done and completed. Hopefully, knock on wood, that everything comes out as well as it can be, and that we can see this advocacy center finished real soon. So thank you. Oh, and then also Casey, I know has been working really hard on this as well. So thank you, James, for your leadership. All right.
Would you also like to make a motion to approve the consent?
And I will make a motion to approve consent items.
Second, Abe Koga.
Yes, I certainly echo your comments regarding item 56. Certainly excited to see this Valley Health Center, Morgan Hill Children's Advocacy Center to be finally constructed. Yeah, so really excited about that project. Thank you. Without further comments, let's take a vote.
All right, by motion of Vice President Arenas, seconded by Supervisor Abe-Koga. Supervisor Abe-Koga.
Aye.
Supervisor Yoon.
Yes.
Vice President Arenas.
Yes.
President Lee.
Aye as well.
Motion carries 4-0.
Great, thank you. So now we move on to our public hearing item 8, which is the Santa Clara County Financing Authority lease revenue bonds to not exceed $450 million in aggregate principal. And to open up public hearing, I go and use the gavel. Any public would like to speak on this item?
So President Lee,
Yes, go ahead.
I can just make a brief
please,
presentation
go ahead.
overview, and I'm going to speak to both item 8 and 9. They are separate public hearings, but they're really interrelated.
Yes.
First, I just want to thank our FAF, Finance Agency, and County Council staff for their hard work in bringing these items forward. What's in front of the board in these set of recommendations related to item 8 and 9 is our pursuit of opportunities to save the county money, knowing that even modest amounts of savings can add up, given the daunting deficit that we face as a result of the unprecedented federal cuts. Specifically here, the county back in 2022 entered into a long-term lease agreement for a new health clinic near the Valley Medical Center campus. The board made that decision back in 2022 as a result of a needs assessment that looked at what it would cost to renovate and upgrade a number of outdated clinical spaces, outpatient clinical spaces on or surrounding the Santa Clara Valley Medical Center campus. And based on that assessment, concluded the most cost-effective approach would be actually to take a new upgraded clinical facility that was offered to the county as a new construction. The county then entered into a long-term lease, again back in 2022, for this facility. We've pursued, as the board knows, a number of opportunities to try to reduce county costs and increase efficiencies. And what we've been able to identify here is an opportunity to exercise an option under that lease to acquire that clinical facility, doing so using what are known as lease revenue bonds. That's basically a way for the county, in essence, to get a mortgage to pay for that cost over time. But the annual debt service, the annual payments on that lease revenue bond are lower than the average annual lease payments on the existing 2022 lease that the county entered into. In other words, we anticipate saving over $2.5 million a year over the term of the lease for this acquisition. And on top of that, the county will own the land and building instead of merely renting it. So this strategy not only results in the county and the public owning this valuable asset, both the land and the building, but doing so with a savings over the 30-year term of about $112 million and an annual average savings of $2.5 million. Now, because debt issuances do cost money to actually put together, we've rolled a couple small things in along with it, including the refunding of a 2015 lease revenue bond issuance at a lower interest rate, taking advantage of today's market rates, and for the remaining duration of that existing debt service, an annual estimated savings of $945,000 a year. So that's in addition to the savings associated with basically swapping the county's current lease obligations for the clinic facility with these lease revenue bonds. So from our perspective, financially, this is a no-brainer. From a philosophical perspective of public ownership of these kinds of critical assets, this is also a no-brainer. And we're very pleased that staff has pursued these opportunities, negotiated diligently, negotiated actually a $13 million reduction in purchase price as part of the early exercise of the option, has quickly put together the appropriate financing. I mentioned teams across FAF, Finance Agency, and County Council. And while the annual savings here is modest, $2.5 million is certainly not the $470 million gap that still remains in front of us for the upcoming fiscal year. Each bit counts, and we're continuing to ask every department across the county organization to take every step we can, push every button, pull every lever, and million by million, we will help make that difference. So we're very pleased to bring this recommendation forward. We're happy to answer questions. Item 8 is the bond issuance. Item 9 is the purchase. But given that the bond issuance is for the purchase, we're presenting those two items together. And we do have staff from FAF, County Executive's Office, and the Finance Agency and County Council here if the board has questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, James. First, actually, Vice President, do you mind if I have the public speak first? Yeah. So, Rhonda, how many people would like to speak on this item in the public?
I currently have one speaker for item number 8.
Okay, let's do 2 minutes.
All right, we're closing the queue at one speaker. Cindy, please come forward. Cindy H. Oh, here she comes.
Thank you. And first thing I would like to ask, this is a public hearing, and when did you post public hearing notice? And where did you post it? So I see this kind of public hearing on the agenda several times, but I don't really pay attention. But today, I really want to ask, again, where do you post the public hearing notice and where? So I don't want to just come here and figure out, oh, you just have a public hearing. And all through 8, 9, 10, 11, it's all about purchasing property. I don't think you will tell your children, say, oh, you can go to the department store and pick whatever you want and just swipe your credit card, even you don't have the money. Let me, I think we all remember the urging campaign advertising in last year's special election. Say, without Measure A, our local hospital, clinic, trauma center, burn unit will all face potentially shut down due to federal budget cut. In order to fund a shortfall about $330 million annually, we need to pay more in sales tax. And then I see this item 8, the reason for recommendation. Say the bond are to buy medical office building, Bascom Station, the 4 Santa Clara Valley healthcare hospitals. I don't really know what that means. Do we need more hospital? The total amount of the bond is $432 million. We already have no money for
Thank you.
hospital.
And this concludes our public speakers on item 8.
Yes, so go ahead and now the public, okay, now I believe we go ahead and say the public hearing is now closed. And any questions, comments from our board? Yes, Vice President?
Thank you. I do understand when there is investments that we need to make within our community, and this is certainly one of those investments that makes sense to me. I have previously said, we have to be careful about purchases that we make, but when we see in the long run, and we're not short-sighted, when we see in the long run this will create a lot of savings for our county's service, as well as equity in providing medical care in the communities that need it, I'm absolutely supportive of this. I also want us to continue to take a look at our systems to see which facilities continue to need some high stakes or high needs. For example, St. Louis Hospital, even though we've purchased it 7 years ago, just last week we had a ribbon cutting for cardiac diagnostic services. This means my community has been without diagnostic services, cardiac diagnostic services, for 7 years. And so I want to make sure that these kinds of services are identified in some way. And I know that this has to do with our revenue bonds, but any savings, I would love for you to consider South County as it continues to have an emergency room that is in the parking lot. I love that we're continuing to make smart investments, and that we are creating, savings. And although it's small, I think to me it's significant. $2 million is nothing to sneeze at. I think it's great, and I would love for some level of consideration for South County, as I always do within my comments. So, anyways, I'll go ahead and move. I make a motion to approve items. We are doing both items 8 and 9, correct? Or is this just the hearing for item 8?
This is just for item 8.
Okay, so I'll make the motion to approve item 8.
I'd like to second that, and
Good.
then
Go
if
ahead,
I
please.
may make some comments. Thank you, President Lee, and thank you to staff for bringing this forward. I very much support administration's recommendation. So this is item 8 and 9. I'll just make my comments together as well. Purchasing this property at South Bascom Avenue is a smart fiscal management, I believe, in that it saves $112 million over 30 years, and even though the $2.5 million a year is modest in our large budget, but it's really quite significant. And when we're looking at budget reductions, we are talking we're going to millions and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I see like some of our programs at a cost of $2.5 million that we can save. So to me, this is quite significant. Since we've already committed to this facility through our 2022 lease, the question really is, do we want to pay rent for 30 years and own nothing, or convert those payments into building ownership while saving that $112 million? To me, it's a very pretty obvious financial decision. And then I appreciate staff negotiating the almost $14 million reduction in the purchase price. With this, we are, building equity, saving money, and it's just a practice that I've engaged in when I was a city council member. I just very strongly believe in owning as many assets as possible as we can use those as opportunities to generate revenue down the road. And and then bonding, something I learned very early on, to be able to finance it over time as generations will be using these facilities, these lands. It makes a lot of sense to me. So it's just like, frankly, do you want to rent a place or buy a home if you can afford to buy a home? I think most people realize that's a strong, good investment. And, as a county, yes, we provide services, but given what's happening at the federal level and the state level too, more and more as I've been doing this for almost 2 decades, I feel that, it's harder. We can't really rely on other levels of government for our funding at all times. We have to look at ways to become more and more self-sufficient, and these are the types of practices, the financial practices that I believe are ways for us to be able to do that. So with that, I very much support this and happy to second the motion. Thank you so much.
Yes, Supervisor Young.
Thank you. And I'm happy to echo the sentiments of my colleagues on this board. I want to thank Director Draper, you and your team for this work. And James, thank you for your presentation. You answered all the questions I had on my little notepad here in front of me. This is a prime example of local government being nimble and responding to market conditions. Just over a week ago, on January 2nd, the Mercury News real estate reporter, George Avalos, wrote that the Bay Area office market remains wobbly. I guess that's a technical term. At the same time, it presents opportunities for savvy investors. By that measure, the county is demonstrating itself as a savvy investor on these items. We are getting a brand new building at 1410 South Bascom Avenue for $14 million less than its original price, and it's their original commitment that we were already bound to. Plus, our annual bond payments will be millions less than what we would have paid in rent had we followed the original plan of leasing this building. Over the next 30 years, it has been said already, I think it deserves to be reiterated again, that the county is poised to save $112 million by purchasing this property versus leasing it. I also want to give kudos to our staff that if we had just done nothing and sat on our hands, no one would have remembered this lease. No one would have made comments on how we spent. But you are looking at the market, you're paying attention and acting and reacting in real time to save every dollar we have here at the county. So thank you for your work. And of course, I fully support this item as well. Thank you.
Vice President, do you have any further comments?
No. Oh, sorry.
Sure. First of all, I just want to thank staff for putting together this really important report and this proposal. This is no small work. Jeff, thanks so much. This is the type of work that we do as a county. And I would say one thing, though, based on some of the comments from the public as well, is that the understanding of these lease revenue bonds is not easy. A lot of people get confused from looking at these numbers, and we're talking about a lot of big numbers. I think there might be ways that we could do a better job of making it more understandable for the public, whether it's graphics or whatnot, in order to explain the reason how this works. So I think there might be some work that we could do to make it easier to understand, to digest. Because when people don't, a lot of times they don't understand something, they come up with other theories. And that's what we're causing the doubts of what we're doing. This specific item, I think, is actually one where it's fairly easy for us to digest, in the sense that we are paying this every month already. We're paying this every year already. What we're doing here is we'll be having a lower payment at the end of the day and save the county money at the bottom, and that's really the bottom line. And as mentioned by Supervisor Young and my colleague, that because of the fact that the real estate market on the commercial side is actually very wobbly, shall we say, this is actually a very opportune time for those who could actually purchase these properties at this reduced cost. Because if we try to build something like this right now, it will cost us 2 or 3 times what we're paying. That's the reality. Plus the land. And we know one thing about land prices never goes down. They always go up, let's be honest, right? So if these opportunities comes up, it's opportune us to protect the taxpayers' funds. So I think this is a very smart thing that we're doing right now. And certainly we're supporting this, but we also want to look for more of these opportunities in the future during these times. Thank you very much. Without further ado, let's go take the vote.
Thank you. On motion of Vice President Arenas, seconded by Supervisor Abekoga. Supervisor Abekoga.
Aye.
Supervisor Young.
Yes.
Vice President Arenas.
Yes.
President Lee.
Aye as well.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Now moving to item 9, which is the consider purchase of real property as a final movement. So go ahead and open the public hearing using this gavel. And again, any members of the public would like to speak on this item? We basically spoke on it already, but if anything else to add?
I do currently have 3 speakers in chambers and no speakers on Zoom.
Sure. Let's do 2 minutes each.
All right, we are closing the queue at 3 speakers. Our speakers are Alice K., Cindy H., and Brian B.
Okay. All right. So I have questions. I finally looked into it a little bit. And of course, I mean, everything would look like a saving if you have overpaid long time ago. Yeah, the inflated price. So I look at the, for 1410 South Bascom, and I'm looking at the Zillow estimate, and you look like, and I think this is kind of not completely accurate. With the 1410 is only 23,994,000, whatever, right? Okay, and then that's the estimate. Okay, and then I'm looking at this, so that's why I have a question, okay? Because you're asking for $340 million, right? And then the valuation for that property is, it's like 24 million, but I think that's a little bit low. Okay, so I'm looking at it. This property was sold in 2022 for 26 million. Okay, and then we're looking at the public tax history that it was assessed at 90 million, but it's still not 340 million. So I'm very confused about the number that you guys are getting. Okay, and so that's something that is a concern, right? To say that, wait a minute, a 90 million, you're asking for 340 million. That is like 277%. And my concern is that, yes, buying land individually is awesome. I was surprised that board supervisor want to be an investor too. So you're actually losing the property tax when we bought it. So how are you going to accommodate that loss? Because the landlord is not paying for it anymore. So I would be looking forward to more transparency, more detail, and I'm sure that you guys calculated all that out, but I'm not saying it. Okay? Thanks.
President Lee, thank you very much for providing some additional explanation around those land acquisitions and the cost savings. So to kind of follow up on what Alice was saying there, I think it would be really helpful for us to kind of understand the math. So when you're looking at this, and if we're looking at a property that's valued at hundreds of millions of dollars, I'm sure there's, or at least I'm assuming, that there's property tax revenue that's associated with that as well, right? And so I'm thinking if we have a property that's valued in the hundreds of millions of dollars, that's probably generating over $2.5 million a year in tax revenue. Right, so is this part of what you're looking at? And I appreciate what you said, Margaret, in a sense that it's wonderful to have assets. And I can go leave the doors here and I can run into probably 100 people, and I bet you 90 of those people would love to be able to afford a house in this county, and they can't afford it, right? They have to live within their means. We don't. I appreciate you all looking after the financial interest, but it would be helpful for us as taxpayers to understand, is this really a cost savings? Or is this the county acquiring additional assets? I mean, you guys just acquired a warehouse last year, a couple months ago, close to the SAP Center. It's a dilapidated warehouse. I mean, this is blight on the community, and it's a county asset. So are these things that you're thinking through, right? The landlord has to pay for the maintenance of that building, not the county. So if we really kind of pencil this thing out and look, is there really a cost savings here? Or is this just, friends of people in power that are looking to make money on these transactions? We know that happens. We read about it all the time. I'm not saying it's happening in this county, but it would really be helpful to have a lot more transparency. Thank you, and I really enjoyed meeting you at the Veterans Day event. Thank you for all you did there. Appreciate it.
Thank you, and my name is Cindy, and I really wonder, we have a lot of things county supervisor can do, but look like you all focusing on real estate investment. And if we have money, but we don't, so this is a bond. And shocking to me is to know this kind of bond. It's called lease revenue bond. And I go check it out, and I found that this kind of lease revenue bond often are structured to avoid needing voter approval for debt, as they may qualify under legal exceptions. So I just wondered, is this bond, that's a reason why it's just need a public hearing, and then you can vote for it and pass it under the radar of voters' awareness that we have more debt. Where is the accountability? And again, I ask, where did you send the public hearing notice? Still, I have nobody answer me. It should be very easy to answer when and where you post it so we can know and participate your decision, and not just expert here to tell us. It's financially very smart. It's a no-brainer decision if we have money. If voters know we need to pay more, and we are on debt, huge debt. Last year, we have a structured deficit. Last year, fiscal year, $250 million. Please consider this year.
Thank you.
I will clarify your question relating to where this was publicized at. So by ordinance code, there is a certain amount of time that each of these public hearings are required to be posted before the actual meeting. We do post them in the post record. If you look at the legislative file attached to each of these public hearings, you will see a copy of the notice as it was published in the post record.
And Rhonda, just for clarification, the date, this was published on Thursday, correct? Last week?
No, our agenda was published last week, but I do know, I did not look up all 4 of them, but I do know that the revenue bonds on public 8, item number 8, that was published in the post record on January 5th.
January 5th.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So usually it's at least 10 days
At least 10 days.
before, but different hearings do have different requirements, whether they're for both the length of time posted, and some of them do require 2 postings in a paper of general circulation.
Right. And when you say paper general circulation, just to be clarified, it's not necessarily just the San Jose Mercury News. It could be a different publication as well.
That is correct. I believe we have 9 or 10 general publication newspapers within our jurisdiction. We do tend to use the post record most because
The post record.
yes, it has a shorter lead time.
to get it into the publications. Right?
Correct.
Okay, good. Tony, do you have anything to add on this one?
I do not, President Lee. I can say with certainty that the legal rules regarding posting in terms of timing and in terms of circulation were met here.
Okay, thank you. All right. No further comments on this. Let's go ahead and close the public hearing. I see no further questions from the board. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Yes.
Second, Abekoga.
Motion seconded. No further comments. Let's go ahead and take the vote.
Thank you. Motion of Supervisor Arenas, seconded by Supervisor Abekoga.
Supervisor Young.
I'm
Supervisor
sorry.
Young,
I
yes.
I was wondering. And so Supervisor Arenas.
No, Supervisor Young.
Young and
Motion.
Abekoga.
Okay, I'm sorry. Supervisor Young, Supervisor Abekoga.
Yes.
Correct.
Sorry about that. All right. Supervisor Abekoga.
Aye.
Supervisor Young.
Yes.
Supervisor Arenas.
Yes.
President Lee.
Aye as well.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you very much. And now moving to item number 10, which is the public hearing on the purchase of real property located on 264 North Morrison Avenue in San Jose. And staff, James, do you have anything to add on this one first before I open the public?
I don't think we have anything to add beyond what's in the legislative file, and we're available for questions.
Okay, thank you. Let's go ahead and open up the public hearing. And anybody in the public would like to speak on this item?
I currently have 2 speakers in chambers and none on Zoom.
Okay, good. Yeah, 2 minutes each, please.
All right, we're closing the speaker queue at 2. We have Cindy H. and Alice K.
Well, the mic's not working yet. 1 second.
Oh,
Let
it's
me
not
show
working.
you. Okay,
Sorry.
here we go. Yeah, go ahead, please.
So first of all, I want to second what Cindy has said about public hearing. I mean, I had business before. Yes, when I need to post something, I put it on the cheapest and nobody will read it, right? I mean, that's a common sense, but it's shocking for the Board of Supervisors, which this is a vital importance, to put it on post record, which most people don't even know it exists, and read it. Okay, so my request that if you really are serious about this, to want public to know what you're doing, you better put it on a better paper, like a Mercury News or something that people read so they can participate. So otherwise, I have the same comment, like, right, I'm looking at the valuation. My general concern is that the valuation, that if you look at a fair market value of these prices, this one is based on Movoto estimate, it's between 4.79 million and 5.86 million. And then you're asking for 7 million and for a 7,000 square feet house. I mean, pretty much a house with some parking lot, right? So these are the questions that we really need answer, right? Devil's in the detail. If you guys simply put a pro and con, I mean, not pro and con, like a ledger, right? Plus and minus, right? In numbers, everybody can understand. So we can understand what kind of saving you're talking about, right? And say what the fair value of the property is, and then we go through that. What kind of saving you get versus what kind of expense you're gonna have. I mean, I guess it's like income and expense. Then everybody can understand, right? We're on your side. But this, like at the time where everybody is concerned, we're bankrupt, we have no money, and this is happening, and look at, you kind of overpay everything, that is a problem for us.
Thank you. My name is Cindy again, and I just want you put yourself in because we are in the Silicon Valley. If you are the manager or the CEO of a company, can you be able to sustain for the every year you have this kind of million, 200, 300, 400 million deficit to sustain your company? We are not here to criticize you or give you a hard time. Actually, we are on the same boat. The bond you are talking about, who are going to pay that? We, taxpayer, and I believe each of you also taxpayer. You also need to pay that. It's not something come from the heaven. The money will not come from the heaven. The reason why I'm here, because I retired. My husband still need to work. Otherwise, we will have no income. So we are not talking about something just number. And also, every single money is come from somewhere. You are not talking about the bond and like, okay, it's very financial, smart to do so and that. I know you are expert, but where the money come? You are talking about every single one here, taxpayer. You need to have a share. And we need to participate. And we cannot just come here and say, oh my goodness, you might another things. But you keep saying in the special election, this election, when we got the property tax, notice we need to pay more and more and more. This bond, school, no money, here no money, everywhere is no money. I just want you to think about it. We really need to fix our waste and mismanagement. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that concludes our public speakers.
Thank you. We'll again close the public hearing. At this point, the public hearing is now closed. Any comments, motion from my board members? I saw the light first for Supervisor Avikoga.
Thank you, President Lee. I'm happy to make a motion, and I had a few comments, and actually maybe wanted to ask staff for some responses to what we're hearing from the public.
Let me get a second.
Second.
All right,
Great,
thank you.
perfect, thank you. So I support this motion, again, by, we talked about the benefits of doing so. I would say, or I guess my question, I was going to ask staff if you can maybe help clarify for the public. I know we go through an extensive process and doing appraisals and so forth. So, I trust that we've done our due diligence. But if you can maybe provide a little bit more color to that, that would be helpful.
Sure, a couple things. So yes, we do extensive due diligence. We do an appraisal. The purchase price here is supported by appraised value. As mentioned several times in the legislative file, the proposed purchase price is not to exceed $4.1 million. The remainder of the amount is attributable to a capital project associated with improvements. So to be clear, the purchase price for the acquisition is not to exceed $4.1 million, and that's said at least 3 or 4 times in the legislative file. The purchase price is supported by an appraisal, like I said, but in addition to that, we also always do, with property acquisitions, a lease versus buy analysis to determine whether it makes sense to lease or acquire a facility. This particular facility is for substance use treatment services. The funding source is the county's opioid settlement funds, which is a result of the major litigation settlements with manufacturers of opioids, so it's directly related to mitigating the harms that those manufacturers caused by contributing to the opioids epidemic in our community and delivering those substance use treatment services. So there's also a direct relationship with the funding source and the funding uses. This property has long been a part of the capital plan that's been in front of the board month over month associated with our behavioral health services discussions and expansions, both in front of the board at the quarterly reports and monthly in front of the Finance and Government Operations Committee.
Thank you. And then I wanted to add, if I'm, please correct me if I don't have this right, but my understanding is that we would have had to do this in 2029 anyway. By fast forwarding it, it puts us in a stronger position to apply for Proposition 1 bond funding. Is that correct?
It does. Just to be totally honest, I'm not terribly optimistic that the county will ultimately get much Proposition 1 funding. We, of course, will continue to be pursuing that. But as we've discussed in the past, the county hasn't received funding in prior rounds. But this is a really critical facility for substance use treatment services. And it does make sense, based on the analysis, to move forward with an acquisition rather than continuing with a lease approach for the site.
Great, thank you. And then we save the $500,000 on the lease buyout obligation. So
that's right.
We save money, we get the asset, puts us in a stronger position for applying for bonds. Whether we get it or not is a different case, but I think we want to always be in the strongest position we can be in. And because it comes from the opioid settlement funds, it is not general fund money. And I think that, I will say that is often the challenge, that we do get funding from different sources that are restricted for certain uses. And I think there's, it's challenging to understand all of that. So the more we can clarify, I think the better for us to be transparent with the public. So for all of those reasons, I think it's a good decision, and we've already made the motion. So thank you. Thank you, staff.
Supervisor Jung?
Thank you, and I've already seconded the motion, so, kind of some indication of where my comments are heading. I had the chance to tour this facility before it was open. I met with the executive director there, Mr. Orville. I was moved by the intentional design. I want to make sure behavioral health staff is here. I'll send them a note. Oh, hey, Key. So, I was moved by the intentional design, and it was really centered around clients to be kind to themselves and work towards progress. And something that's very specific about this site is that there's a separate women's wing. So treatment beds specifically for women coming out of incarceration, coming out of recovery, immediate need into recovery. And that's something that we continue to lack. Being at this county for a while, I've heard the outcry of the public, of this board, of previous boards, to add more substance use treatment beds to our inventory. And one thing that I was thinking when I was taking a tour of this facility is that, knowing that it was a lease at that time, that market conditions could take this away, as it has taken away other treatment beds in the county's inventory in the past. So again, I want to express my appreciation for our staff pivoting in real time, taking advantage of current market conditions. And I appreciate the fiscal responsibility. To have not done this would have been arguably fiscally negligent, but the greater negligence would have been to our clients in dire need of these treatment services. And by owning this building, we have an authority to preserve these services for as long as we need them. And hopefully the mission of this county is to work ourselves out of that need so that no longer treatment facilities are needed in this way. I'm happy that this will add 32 beds, 22 residential beds, and 10 withdrawal management beds to our county service offerings. I do have a question, though, that not specific to facilities and fleet, Director Draper, but to our administration, or maybe to our behavioral health staff. While we are using our opioid settlement funding to purchase the property, do we have any concerns with long-term service provisions as we look at our future budget cycles? We have the building, and I want to make sure that we continue having the services.
So we have significant, just big picture, stepping back, we have very significant concerns about overall service funding for behavioral health services. We will be having a study session with the board at the first meeting in February focused on behavioral health. But the reality is all of our critical funding streams for behavioral health, that includes significantly Medicaid, but also the former Mental Health Services Act funding, as well as 2011 realignment and other state funding sources, are all being severely impacted. So across our broader continuum of behavioral health services, we have significant concerns about what's happening in the shift of funding away from county behavioral health-related operations. That said, this particular site, which is focused on substance use treatment, has clearly been a very high priority for the board. This, like I said, has been part of a very focused and deliberate effort here, and so this is a facility that we do believe will be prioritized for long-term continued service delivery. 31 of the 32 beds are currently in use. So it's a very high utilized and active site. But we do have concerns more broadly about the entire range of behavioral health services. And as you'll hear from me later with an update on the state budget, concerns about the state's approach to those services and others.
Thank you, James. At least our site will not be a concern for the future in terms of having a place to have residential treatment beds. These services are critical and not only provide for those we treat, but also improves community public safety, reducing homelessness in a meaningful way by having a place for individuals suffering from substance use who live on the streets, or women suffering in silence from domestic violence or intimate partner violence who have turned to substances as a salve, as we have seen statistically. So today we feel like we are marking a step in the purchase of a building. What we get out of it as a community is so much more, and I thank the staff collectively for taking this step. Thank you.
Thank you, and I just want to say that I want to thank our staff for working with our seller to purchase this property sooner than our lease agreement, and that certainly helps reduce the buyout obligation and also help our county save, $500,000 easily. As mentioned in the report, the substantial reduction lowers the county's upfront acquisition costs, improves overall financial viability of the purchase, and as we are staring at this huge budget challenge ahead, we certainly need to pinch every penny we can. Based on some of the comments earlier, the one speaker mentioned that they look at the website, the Movado, saying it's about $4.7 to $5.86 million, and just to clarify, we are actually purchasing it at below that price. We're purchasing at $4.1 million, actually. So I just want to make sure that we're better than what was shown. The other $3 million that we're talking about is actually renovation to make those beds available that we're increasing. So just make it clear that this one is easier to explain, and I could try to do that right now, that we're actually getting a really good deal on this, okay? And I also want to say to James, to Jeff Draper, and also Dr. Sherry Terrell, and your amazing teams of putting this together, job well done. Increasing these beds is exactly what our county has needed for so long. For the past 4 years after we declared the mental health and substance use as a public health crisis, led by the colleague who's not here, Susan Ellenberg, and myself, jointly pushing this together with a unanimous vote, this is truly a public health crisis that we are making significant strides, and this is exactly the beds that we needed. It takes a while to get there, but we're getting there. Just want to say thank you, and this is increasing access to life-saving behavioral health services for so many. Thank you so much, and without further ado, let's go take the vote.
On motion of Supervisor Abakoga, seconded by Supervisor Young. Supervisor Abakoga.
Aye.
Supervisor Young.
Yes.
Vice President Arenas.
Yes.
President Lee.
Aye as well.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Okay, moving to item 11, which is another public hearing or purchase of real property on Mount Madonna Road. And I'm going to open up the public hearing with the gavel. Yes, staff, you want to go and please. Morning.
Good morning, Todd Lofgren.
Hi.
Parks Director for Santa Clara County. And I'm here with Kathy Bradley, our Principal Real Property Agent. We're happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you, Todd. Yes, James, go ahead.
I do just want to note for the public's benefit, the voters of our county created and established back in the 1970s a Parks Charter Fund pursuant to the mandate by the voters. The county Parks Department is funded separately and apart from the rest of the county organization, and in fact is mandated to spend a certain percentage of that funding on property acquisition. This purchase, therefore, is completely separate from the general fund and the rest of the county organization, and is funded exclusively by that park charter fund. And that's going back to one of the earlier comments about how complex the county budget is. This is another example of a piece of the organization that is fiscally separate from the rest of the county, both for operations but also for land acquisition, and indeed has an obligation under that voter-approved measure to acquire property on an ongoing basis. We're happy to answer questions.
Thank you, James. Yes, Vice President?
I'm happy to make comments.
Sure. I could actually open the public hearing first in the public, and then we'll go ahead with board
Thank
comments.
you.
How's that? Good. Okay. Let's see. How many in the public would like to speak on this item?
I have no public speakers on this item.
Okay. Then we'll go ahead and close the public hearing on this specific item. Thank you. Yes, Vice President.
Wonderful. I'm really excited about this trail connection, and congratulations. I know that you haven't been on board for very long, so I know it's an honor for you to also continue to do what our previous director and what our department and our community holds as really valuable and important, and that is connectivity. I know this terrain is more convenient and also less challenging for our residents and for folks who love the outdoors. I mean, the benefits are just all around, right? And so this is in my district, and I'm just really excited. It's in the Uvas Canyon County Park in Morgan Hill. And I just want to say congratulations. I know that and you've been working really hard at connectivity overall for trails. I think people forget that sometimes the county does this for our residents, and that is to encourage the outdoors, to preserve our trail system and continue it, as well as protect our wildlife. And so congratulations, this is wonderful. I'm glad that I didn't have to mention where the money was coming from, and that our county executive did that for us. And so this is just one of the ways that we continue to invest back into our community, back into our system. So thank you and congratulations. And then with that, I'm going to make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second that, Abekoga.
Motion seconded. Do we have any further comments? Nope. All right. I just noticed that this is about $1 million from our Park Charter Fund, and we're buying 95 acres. At $10,000 an acre these days in Silicon Valley, I think we're doing a pretty good job for the public. Okay, that's all. All right, go ahead. Let's go take the vote.
I'm sorry, I missed the motion and seconder.
Arenas, motion, and second by Abekoga.
Thank you. Motion of Supervisor Arenas, seconded by Supervisor Abekoga. Supervisor Abekoga.
Aye.
Supervisor Jung.
Yes.
Vice President Arenas.
Yes, ma'am.
President Lee.
Aye as well.
Motion carries 4-0.
Great, thank you so much. Moving to item number 12, which is receiving a report from the county exec.
Yes, good morning, President Lee, members of the board. A couple items for today's county executive report. First, we continue to monitor concerning developments at the federal level on a variety of fronts. One item specifically that we've been tracking is the expiration of the enhanced premium subsidies associated with the national healthcare exchanges provided under the Affordable Care Act. As the board is undoubtedly well aware, this was one of the items that was at core issue during the shutdown of the government, where the Democrats in Congress were trying to get an extension on those subsidies into the subsequent 3 years. There continue to be some negotiations on this topic, but the reality is that the open enrollment period has now closed. And it looks like, according to national reporting, that 1.4 million Americans have dropped health care coverage as a result of the failure by Congress to extend that premium support. We will have more information in the future about the specific numbers and impacts here in Santa Clara County. but undoubtedly they've been significant. And in addition to the coverage losses altogether, as a result of that failure by Congress, there are a number of people, very significant number of folks, we understand, who have shifted to a higher deductible plan, which is likely to have some ramifications for us as well, as those individuals forego more routine care and appear only when conditions become emergent and require more expensive care and treatment. So we'll provide a more fulsome update. There's a little bit of optimism that, the House of Representatives recently passed some extension of the subsidies. Who knows what will happen in the Senate? But the reality is the disruption has already occurred, given that open enrollment has closed. And what might happen, who knows? And if it does, it might be far too late. But we'll continue to track that. The other big piece of news is on Friday, the governor released his proposed state budget for the upcoming fiscal year. We're still reviewing this very closely, but a couple significant things to note. First, kind of top line, the governor in his proposed budget has a very different revenue assumption than the legislative analyst, projecting a modest shortfall of only $2.9 billion instead of the legislative analyst's projection of almost $18 billion. Big difference between those two projections is that the LAO forecast predicted economic downturns, whereas the governor's budget revenue estimates don't. Of course, the governor's budget will be significantly updated in the May revise. But significant for us is the treatment in the state budget of H.R. 1 related impacts, or rather the lack of treatment of H.R. 1 related impacts in the state budget. Notwithstanding the governor's really powerful speech on Thursday, the budget proposal itself largely ignores the impact of H.R. 1 on the health care of millions of Californians. It fortunately doesn't do a lot of new damage. In other words, it doesn't layer a number of additional new state cuts on top of those federal cuts as was initially feared. But it does really nothing to mitigate those healthcare impacts on Californians. And I want to call out a couple things that we've noticed right away, just to highlight what we're talking about. In H.R. 1, refugees, asylees, and individuals who are on U&T visas, basically victims of domestic violence and other crimes, folks who are legally present in the United States, there's about 200,000 here in the state of California, were kicked off of Medicaid. The governor's budget just rolls that policy forward and does not have the state step in to continue to provide that coverage at all. That puts those individuals on what's called restricted scope coverage, which will not give them the opportunity to get ongoing care, chronic care treatment, primary care, et cetera. That's a concern. For IHSS, which is a very important program for the community, the governor's budget includes a reduction of state share of cost by passing on to counties the full cost of the growth in any IHSS hours per case. We will need to analyze the exact impact of that, but given the growing nature of that program and that it is an entitlement program that the county doesn't have control over the number of hours, that's a very concerning and potentially long-term significant fiscal impact on the county. The governor's budget includes no backfill of funds for the Victims of Crime Act. Advocates, including the county last year, were successful in securing one-time funds from the legislature to offset that federal cut. We'll continue that fight again this year, but no funding included in the governor's budget. The governor's budget also does not include any increased augmentations associated with the significant behavioral health mandates that the state has put on counties, any new augmentations associated with housing or homelessness related issues, or any new augmentations associated with the cost of implementing Proposition 36 or other related state criminal justice reforms. These all continue to constitute significant unfunded mandates imposed on counties. We, of course, need to see the exact trailer bill language for pieces of the governor's budget. We will look at that carefully. As the board knows, our main focus the next few months is going to be state-related advocacy for the state to step up and help mitigate H.R. 1 related impacts. That falls in a couple domains, including helping keep people enrolled in this vital life-saving program, but also providing dedicated funding for public hospital systems like ours that form the backbone of healthcare for all Californians. As the board has heard before, public hospitals in California are only 6% of the state's hospitals, but operate more than 50% of the trauma and burn centers and train more than 50% of the doctors in California. And the state does need to account for that as part of its strategy in mitigating federal impacts and in looking at what's necessary to ensure the health and well-being of all Californians and continued access to critical care. So we have a lot of work to do in the coming months. The good news is no additional significant state cuts layered on top. The bad news is, candidly, no meaningful response in the state budget to H.R. 1, and that's very concerning given that it's the most significant federal fiscal act that happened last year. And so the absence of a direct response to that is really an abdication of leadership by the state, and we're confident that working in collaboration with our delegation and partners across California, that we will be able to partner with the state to fill that vacuum and ensure that the state is showing leadership on those issues as well. That concludes my report. Happy to answer questions.
Well, thank you very much, James. It sounds like we're getting a double whammy on this H.R. 1 business. First, you got the federal government cutting it, and we thought, oh, state was going to help us out, and apparently the government proposal is not. But that's not the end, right? It's not just the governor's budget, it's the budget. It does go through the legislators, and of course, we do have a very strong delegation here, both in the state Senate and the state assembly members, so we'll be lobbying and advocating those issues with them. Correct, James?
Absolutely. We're going to be taking very aggressive steps for advocacy. We know that the legislature is very concerned about these issues. The impacts are very real and significant. You know, 1 out of every 4 Santa Clara County residents relies on Medi-Cal, but actually that percentage is much higher in other parts of the state. We know that we have significant fiscal impacts here in Santa Clara County, but we also know that that's true in Los Angeles County and across the rest of the Bay Area, and that very critical services that not only individuals on Medi-Cal, but everyone in our community relies on and depends on up and down the state are at risk and in jeopardy, absent the state taking a strategic and thoughtful approach. So we will be pushing very hard on these issues, and we're not surprised that the governor's budget looks the way it does. Obviously, some of the specific details, are being looked at and we weren't aware of. But from a big picture standpoint, it's not a surprising set of proposals. It just reaffirms the hard work that we have in front of us, but work that we will engage vigorously in. And we have confidence that we have good partners at the legislative level in that work.
Yeah, thank you, James, for clarifying that. The other issue you mentioned is the reduction or the cut on the IHSS funding from the state level as well. And as you have recalled, we have certainly many IHSS members that come to our public comment oftentimes regarding that issues of the funding of their pay. I just want to make sure that those individuals are aware of what the state's not helping, that they could also voice their concerns at the state level.
Yeah, this is a very concerning thing for counties writ large. In this year's budget, it's functionally an unfunded state mandate to the tune of about $147 million to the county. And this proposed cost shift to counties would exacerbate that significantly. So it's definitely an item that, in coalition with all of the other counties in California, and it's unfortunate Supervisor Ellenberg is not here today, but we will, of course, be working with her office in the context of her role as president of CSAC this year. But this is absolutely an item that will be on all counties' radar because it's an ongoing cost shift from the state to counties.
Great. Thank you, James. Yes, go ahead, Vice President.
Actually, that's one of the questions that I was going to ask. So you said it puts $47 million back to us in terms of responsibility. Did I hear you correctly?
What I was saying is today, as the law stands today, so leaving aside the governor's budget, right now the county general fund pays about 147 million towards IHSS. The proposal in the governor's budget would remove the state's share, in other words, the state's contribution to any growth in hours per case. And as the board is aware, if you look over the last decade, the number of hours has grown significantly. And so that cost will grow over time if that shift occurs. We don't have a specific fiscal impact right now for the county. That's something we need to calculate. But it's a statewide issue of concern that basically transfers that growing cost from the state to counties.
Yeah, that makes me really nervous because, as we know, by 2030 in this county, and I think in California, and then 2035 in the U.S., baby boomers, the last of the baby boomers will reach 65, and as we get older, we need more medical attention. And so this just really more terrible news. And I wonder how we can maybe share some of this terrible news with some of those folks who come in and speak to us, because I know that we are ultimately not the ones completely responsible for it. Although the governor's making us now responsible for it, we don't get to decide who gets services, what the growth will look like, and take a look at what afforded budget we have, and decide what kind of hours we can provide, right? We don't have any of that control. So I think that it's really important for us to begin to have those conversations with those folks.
That's exactly right, and we will. But I think that's one of the fundamental structural problems with this very important program. It's a really critical program for the community, but there's a total structural misalignment between fiscal responsibility for the program, control over the relevant criteria around how the program grows and how it looks, and the county's obligations associated with collective bargaining related to the program, but also cost sharing in the program. And in my view, in order for these kinds of programs to, in the long run, be sustainable and successful, you have to align those pieces together. And this is a program where those pieces are completely misaligned. Yeah. The governor's proposal makes that misalignment worse, not better. And we need to continue to push the state, including in conversation with the legislature, to actually look the other direction, which is to make sure that the alignment is brought closer together so that fiscal responsibility, authority over the scope and nature of the program is in better sync, so that the program can be structured in a way that is most effective. But it is going to grow in importance. You're exactly right, Supervisor. This is a very critical service for vulnerable folks in our community. And that's why this is a concerning proposal, because we fully expect the number of hours to continue to grow. And that's not a surprise. The issue here is what's the relationship look like between the state and between the county.
Fair enough. And thank you for being the bearer of a lot of terrible news. The other piece that I wanted to bring up was that we had committed to our residents to ensure that we were going to look at the efficiency of our own departments, effectiveness as well as we go along with that. Ask them to support Measure A that they actually did, and so now that's just a little Band-Aid that is helping us put it all together, keep it all together. But the last effort that we said we were going to make is continue to look at external revenue sources. And so I wonder, for those folks who are losing their subsidies, or who are dropping out of our insurance, or who have now a higher responsibility in terms of costs, and those folks who we know are going to have to pay a premium now on a monthly basis that they normally wouldn't be doing before. Have we thought about any philanthropy that can help step in? And I know this is a big ask, but during the pandemic, a lot of they were a source of some really good funding. I wonder if they look at this crisis now and are available for that kind of.
And Supervisor, I think it's a very, very good question. We are in the early stages of re-examining our primary care access program, which historically speaking was the county program that provided primary care access to individuals who were uninsured in our community. And before the Affordable Care Act, about 20% of patients who came to the county health system were uninsured. And after the Affordable Care Act, that percentage has dropped down to below 3%. Really remarkable, and a testament to what an incredible difference the Affordable Care Act made for giving people access to health care coverage. In looking at that program, there will be opportunities for philanthropy or others to help offset some of those costs, but to ensure continued access. But we're looking at what reconception of that might make sense and bring ideas and recommendations forward to the board when we have some analysis around costs and volume and some different options for consideration related to that. So we're beginning that work between Valley Health Plan and the health system, which are the two departments that have responsibility for that program. It's an existing program, but has changed in its scale and scope very significantly given the dwindling numbers that have needed that coverage, and now our expectations of significant growth. We're primarily expecting that growth to largely occur after this calendar year as the work rule requirements begin to kick in associated with Medi-Cal. And those requirements will kick in December of this year. So we're beginning that analysis, and we look forward is the wrong term, but we will be bringing forward a variety of ideas and options for the board to engage with so that we can do what we can to try to continue to ensure access for those in our community.
And would you also include those folks who were enrolled who don't have sufficient documentation? I forget what that exact.
Yes.
How they phrase that.
Yes, we've always had in this county, we've always kept open doors for individuals without any coverage, including individuals who have not had coverage, predating, for example, the state-only program, who did not have coverage to access to Medi-Cal at all. And that would include individuals who are no longer eligible due to the state's freeze in enrollment for the UIS population. That freeze took effect this month. Mm-hmm. So no new folks can sign up for state-only Medi-Cal. Right. And we do expect that to be a growing impact over the coming months as well.
Well, what I'm afraid of is that those who manage to stay on are also going to be looking at a premium, a monthly premium, and this is something that I had talked about before was how do we help those folks pay for that? Maybe not out of our general fund, but out of a external revenue source that could help provide coverage for them. Because as you mentioned, when there's a high deductible, people are not going to come to utilize our services, or they're going to eventually drop out of insurance, which is still continue. I mean, the outcome is the same. They're going to create a more expensive visit to our health and hospital systems. But more importantly, I think for me, that means a lot of Latinos will continue to not receive services. And as we see in the assessment, Latinos live 2 years less than their counterparts. And so for me, that means we're continuing to shorten their longevity. And I know that this is not what the governor is attempting to do, but in the end, it is creating the same impact. And so that means for a lot of our generations, we lose our parents really early on, and that it has just so much impact.
You're absolutely right about that. Those premiums kick in July of 2027. It's something that we're tracking closely, obviously urging the state to make changes in its approach to that, but also what options we have to help mitigate impacts.
Yeah, it would be good if we can follow up. If you can follow up with me in particular, I'd like to know what that loss was for last year, because I know on the 31st was the last day for folks to enroll. How did we do in terms of enrolling folks into that insurance plan? And then what was the loss of those folks? So that's just me. Would love to offline talk about that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have no further comments on item 12. Goes to our county counsel, Tony.
At the January 12th, 2026 closed session, by unanimous vote with all members present, the board authorized the county to initiate litigation in one matter. The name of the action, the defendant, as well as the substance of the litigation shall be disclosed once litigation is formally commenced to any person upon inquiry. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. And then we move to item 14, which is the recommendations relating to proposed mosquito and vector control district benefit assessment levy. And we do have our staff here to present on this item.
Good morning, President Lee, members of the board.
Morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I have the pleasure of introducing item 14, the 2026 assessment for the Mosquito and Vector Control District. With me sitting is Bu Tai, excuse me, I was just walking over here.
Identify yourself
Admin
too.
Services Director, and Stephen Thomas,
Yes.
our Departmental Fiscal Officer, and other number of staff that are here to support this item. We have a short presentation, and questions can be answered at the end, and I'll have my colleague kick us out.
Please.
Good morning and Happy New Year. I think it's still morning.
Still morning, yes.
We do have a brief presentation, just a highlight of the mosquito vector district's financial status and the need for the board to consider additional benefit assessment for the district. Just as a brief background, the district was established in 1988. It's funded by two benefit assessments, 1996 and 2005. In addition, there are a few factors that are brought us here in asking the board for a 2026 assessment. First, last season, we had saw an emerging multiple detections of Aedes aegypti. This mosquito is a day-biting mosquito, dangerous and invasive. This mosquito is a big concern to our county because it can transmit illness such as Zika, dengue, and yellow fever. So with that, it really causes to think about additional resources that we may consider beyond the 2 benefit assessment. We worked with our consultant, SCI Consulting Group, to help us with an opinion survey in April 2025. And that survey conducted was a random sampling of 20,000 property owners, and the result of that survey came pretty strong and supportive of having the district move forward with a 2026 benefit assessment. So in terms of understanding where are we at with the mosquito and vector revenue and expenditure, as you can see here in this table, the district is facing at the end of this fiscal year a structural deficit where the benefit assessment of 1996 and 2005 is no longer supporting, is not keeping pace with our rising costs of operational costs. The district is projecting a shortfall of $2.77 million by the end of the fiscal year. So the reason for the 2026 benefit assessment is 2 things. We want to stabilize the district's operations, address the structural deficit, as well as we in working with the district, we have looked at cost-saving efforts, looking at optimizing our efficiency, and that continues to put us in a structural deficit. Secondly, as I mentioned, with the emerging threats of Aedes aegypti, as well as the continuing of West Nile virus, we need to address the reduction of that transmission. So in terms of the services and improvements that we are looking to provide in the 2026 benefit assessment, we are looking at stabilizing the district operations, providing additional resources to aggressively address the Aedes aegypti mosquito, as well as making sure that we have adequate resources to support the continuing mosquito monitoring, inspection, and control, to name a few. So what does that mean in terms of property owners if the board chooses to approve us going forward? In terms of looking at the annual rate for a property owner, for a single-family home, we're looking at $1,575 rate per year versus looking at a condominium, $9.45 per year, and then so on in terms of commercial, industrial, and agricultural. And I would say that in our county, single family homes are the majority of our property tax, property types in the county. And finally, our ask is for the board's consideration is to accept a preliminary engineer's report that was a part of the legislative file, to adopt the resolution of the Board of Trustees to allow us to initiate balloting proceeding for the 2026 assessment, to set a May 19th Board of Trustee meeting to allow us to then close the ballot proceeding for the 2026 benefit assessment, and finally, giving us the authority to mail notice and assessment ballot to property owners. And that concludes our presentation, and we're open for questions.
Thank you. Let's see, I do see some lights. Actually, let me see if I should ask my colleague. Maybe I'll open up the public hearing first, see if any questions from the public on this item. Rhonda, do we have anybody in public who would like to speak on this item specifically?
I currently have no public speakers for this item.
Okay, I'll go ahead and close the public speaking portion. I see a few lights. I think Vice President was first, and then Supervisor Young.
Thank you. I know this is something that you've been working on since last March, and so I appreciate the thoughtfulness, the surveying that you did for our residents. I know there's not one person who's going to say, yes, please just add on to my property taxes, because it's never enough, right? As a property owner, I always, I kind of just roll my eyes and go with it. And when it comes to our responsibility, of course, I support what we are hoping to accomplish, which is the health and well-being of our residents overall, right? And nobody thinks about mosquitoes, but if you're unlucky like me and have the kind of blood that people, those mosquitoes are just attracted to, they just love me, I wish it was also true for voters, but whatever. I greatly appreciate it, and so thank you. I know that this may not be the thing that is on top of mind for everybody, but you keep us healthy, you keep us well, and you've done your job in terms of going to voters. Actually, property owners is really where it's at, right? Not all voters, but just property owners. And so you surveyed them, you asked them, you made sure that you did your due diligence. I do have to recognize that we kind of got in front of you in terms of our measure, right? And so I know that you're going to go a little bit of an uphill battle, possibly because folks may feel like, oh, this is another tax, right? But I know that you broke it down really well in terms of, one, you did everything, you did everything internally to make sure that we are not asking for something that we shouldn't be asking, right, from property owners. And then second, I think the thing to look at here is also that we're not charging the same thing as other counties are, right? We are pretty conservative, and we're still at a lower rate. And so for that, I think our property owners and our residents should be really grateful that we're doing such a great job in terms of being so conservative. And so I appreciate that. I know it doesn't make us popular, but when summer comes around, we're all going to be looking at you all and thanking you, especially me. So anyways, with that, I'm just going to make a motion to approve, and just to thank you for all the really great work that you've all been doing. I know it's slow work and very diligent work, and so thank you so much for making sure you tap into those property owners. It was 2,200 folks who you assessed, who gave feedback, and so I'm happy to support all your efforts. Thank you.
A motion, do I have a second?
Happy to second.
Yes, Supervisor Young, go ahead.
Thank you, Edgar and Boo, for this presentation. It was informative, and I now know what a property benefit assessment is. Always learning opportunities here. But, there's been calls for transparency, understanding, and education for the public today. Can you help me understand, just very succinctly, how is this different from a tax?
Thank you for the question, Supervisor Young. It's a bit different because it is assessed at different intervals, as we showed in slide 6. Those are the intervals that are broken down by each property type. 62% of our total assessment is made up by single-family homes, which is called SFEs. For every SFE, the assessment rate would be $1,575, which is equivalent to about $1.31 a month. Those costs are then imposed as part of your property taxes. So you have your 1% property taxes, and then there's other line items that we all look at. This would be another line item at the bottom to help us pay and have the resources to combat mosquitoes, which I'll mention is the deadliest animal in the world. And so right now it's $1,575, this 2026 assessment, and it's equivalent to about $1.31 a month per home.
And let me just kind of lay out, stepping a little bit back from this particular one, and just talk more generally about the difference between taxes and benefit assessments. Under the California Constitution, in order to have a benefit assessment, there has to be a relationship to benefit that property that's being served. So some other examples of benefit assessments are in the context of things like a lighting district, for instance, or a road maintenance district, which might help pay for a road that provides access to specific properties. And those specific properties that directly benefit from that assessment are charged for that, whereas a tax, there isn't necessarily a direct relationship between the people who pay and the people who benefit. Certainly not on a one-to-one basis. The reason mosquito and vector control qualifies as a property benefit assessment is because we are, through the vector control district, mitigating these harmful vectors, namely mosquitoes, but others, that directly harm people's properties and affect the use that people have of their property. So it's a benefit and connection that's direct to each property owner, and it's a whole different structure and framework as a result, and is completely different from a tax. So it's actually more akin to a fee. It's a different type of fee, obviously, but it's much more like a fee than it is like a tax. And of course, the proceeds that are raised from the benefit assessment can only be used for the purpose of that property benefiting activity. And so the mosquito and vector control district, this is another example. We've had a few today, but another example of a part of our organization that is fiscally separate from the rest and is wholly reliant on these assessments. And that is what funds its activities, and its work is focused on that vector mitigation. We would not want to, I think, live in a Santa Clara County that had no mosquito abatement occurring. I fall in the same camp as Supervisor Arenas in terms of mosquitoes liking me. So I can tell you from having visited parts of the world where there is no meaningful mosquito abatement that is not pleasant, and so that's the work that this district carries out day in and day out, and it's what allows us to enjoy being outdoors in our houses, but also on our farms and in all the other outdoor environments here in Santa Clara County.
Yeah, and enjoy being alive. Oh.
Supervisor Young, I just want to lean in, and also where this is different is also the voters. So in terms of tax, we generally think about registered voters weighing in on this type of measure. This in particular, you don't have to be a registered voter. It is folks that are owning property that will be filling out their mail-in ballot and returning it. And they have a 45-day window for doing so.
Thank you. That was going to be one of my other questions. So you've got that in advance, that we're not passing or declaring a new benefit assessment today. It's going to be the voters,
That's correct.
Our homeowners who will decide. So could you share with us the relationship between these assessments and the mosquito vector controls budget? I know that we've had assessments in '96 and then 2005, and then with the approval of today, or potential approval of today's assessment.
Would we be able to go to slide 3, please? Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Stephen Thomas, the Fiscal Officer for SEPA, which covers vector control. So the vast majority of the district's revenue, that's clearly 95-ish% of the revenue comes from these assessments. The 96 assessment does not change at all, ever. The 2005 assessment, we come to the board every year to request an increase of CPI or 3%, whichever is less. That means that over time, our revenue is increasing by slightly less than 2%. Our budget is primarily staff, vector control staff, but also there are support staff in Fleet and TSS and SEPA and other places in the county that are also reimbursed for the work they do supporting vector control. Those costs have been increasing at roughly 6% a year. Obviously, that math doesn't math. So we did have a reserve up through 2019 or so. Between 2019 and now, we have been using that reserve, but those reserves are nearly depleted, which is why we are coming forward to ask for the third assessment.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate the work of your department, your office, the thoughtful approach to this, and I also want to give credit to the engagement that you've done with our community stakeholders. It's heartened to see that the majority of respondents to the survey has provided overwhelming support for this next iteration of a benefits assessment. And I just want to also appreciate, I've learned from my staff and interacting with your office is that should this assessment be approved, we will be able to stabilize our budgets for quite some time. What is the year that you're projected to be able to stabilize through?
So we currently expect with this assessment, assuming we continue with the CPI increases every year, we expect to be stabilized through 2045, assuming that payroll costs continue to rise at a similar rate to the last two or 3 years.
All right, mosquito-free until 2045. Yeah.
Supervisor, just one point of clarification on the process here. So it is correct that the board is not imposing an assessment today. There's a 45-day period to submit ballots. There will be a public hearing. If there is not a majority protest, then the board has the authority at that point to impose the assessment. So the board would impose it, but only after there's this balloting procedure that takes place.
Well, I look forward to hearing from our homeowners. If the initial survey indicates anything, it indicates a broad support and understanding for the necessity of this fee. Thank you.
Thank you, President Lee, and thank you, staff, for bringing this forward. Just a small question. You mentioned, is it the 2005 benefit assessment? You bring it to us, is it to the board each year for the CPI increase? But for this assessment, the CPI is included, is that correct?
So this is the initiation of the 2026 assessment supervisor. So every year for the last 3 years, we've been coming to your board as the Board of Trustees to receive a CPI increase to the 2005 assessment.
Yes.
However, that hasn't been able to keep up with costs as shown in the table to the right. This is to initiate a new assessment, which that 1575 is the amount now. And in later years, if needed, the board may vote to increase that by CPI.
Oh, so it's not included in this. The CPI automatic increase is not included.
It's not
you still
automatic.
need to
But
bring
we
it
would
to
not need
us.
to go back to do this process of imposing the assessment. It would just require a public hearing in front of the board each year, just as we do for the 2005 assessment.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. I would, very much support this. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Yes, James, do you have any further? No, okay. So looking at the chart there, the expenditure being $11 million and the revenues being $8.3 million, clearly that deficit is very, very large. I guess my only question has been, should this process, as hindsight, should this process has happened maybe a year or two earlier so that we don't get to that type of situation ever again?
Supervisor, before we go to the voters, we were looking at other efficiency models, and we did everything we could. We froze some positions. We looked at efficiencies. However, what we didn't count on is Aedes aegypti emerging in our county and being established. That really impacted operations. We utilized now dry ice to better capture from a trapping perspective. That increased our cost, and also the use of more treatment for Aedes aegypti that we weren't thinking, and as part of our model, we were really surprised last year, or excuse me, 2024, with the surprising emergence and rapid deployment of Aedes aegypti. We have about 18 sites right now. We're trying, the team is working very diligently in trying to reduce the spread of the population because Aegis Gypside does have an impact to the way we live. So resources from this 2026 assessment would allow to expand resources, stabilize the district, and ensure that Aegis Gypside does not impact the quality of life to our residents in the county.
Right, and I did remember asking Vice President Arenas as well of the entire staff, I think, on this group come into our meeting. It wasn't a board meeting, it was our LAFCO meeting that talked about this very issue of how they were not able to do the work they believe is important. And I think that was really my eye-opener to realize not only how important this group is doing, but what type of dire situation we were at that very moment. And since then, I certainly have been talking to the press as well, asking me these questions and how do we get there. I just want to make sure we don't get there ever again. And I think it's one of those things that we need to look ahead as an emergency preparedness. It's not an earthquake. It's not as sexy as an item like that everybody looked at, or wildfire. But at the same time, these nasty mosquitoes. And remember, I have two very delicious person next to me right here, so I don't want to be just being sandwiched in. So let's make sure that we put in the right resources to protect our public. This is absolutely important because, as we know, if we cannot stop those at these micro level, our public health department will be overwhelmed thereafter. So. Again, thank you for bringing this on board. And there is this date. I see May 19, 2026 is the deadline date for people to file their protests and whatnot. And thereafter, yes, go ahead, Bo.
Right. So it would be a public hearing to close the ballot.
Okay.
And then that is an opportunity for the public to engage and provide you their feedback.
Right. And assuming there was not enough protests coming in and this numbers came through, Tony, will this board be then taking another official vote in the future?
That's correct. There will be a tabulation, and then the board will impose at that point.
Impose that. And at that time, what would be, let's say, the earliest when this will be implemented? In terms of date, do you have an approximate one?
I don't have that date. Go ahead.
Sure.
So assuming that this is approved by, endorsed by the voters and then approved by the board, this would appear on the fiscal 27 property taxes, which is this December's and next April property taxes.
Property tax. Okay, great. Thank you very much for that clarification. And without further ado, let's go take the vote.
Thank you. A motion of Vice President Arenas, seconded by Supervisor Young. Supervisor Abacoga.
Aye.
Supervisor Young.
Yes.
Vice President Arenas.
Yes.
President Lee.
Aye as well.
Motion carries 4-0.
Great. Let's see. Now we're looking at items that's been removed from the consent calendar, which I believe is item 43 by Supervisor Abacoga.
Thank you so much. I pulled this item. I very much support it and was really just interested in adding a small piece to the motion. I think this is, and this is the corporate sponsorship, marketing, and advertising program, but I know you've all heard me continuously talk about the need to find more resources, and I believe perhaps this program could be one of those tools. And so I wanted to add to the motion that, so as part of the work plan, I request the administration to identify additional opportunities for revenue generation for the county through this program. So just to read the motion in its entirety, I would make the motion to move the adoption of the 2024-25 annual review of the corporate sponsorship, marketing, and advertising program, and to approve the 2025-26 work plan for the corporate sponsorship, marketing, and advertising program with a request to administration to identify additional opportunities for revenue generation for the county.
Second.
And we'd be happy to do so.
Thank you.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second. Let's see, any in the public like to speak on this item?
Motion of Supervisor Abacoga, seconded by Supervisor Arenas. Supervisor Abacoga. Aye. Supervisor Young?
Yes.
Vice President Arenas?
Yes.
President Lee?
Aye as well.
Motion carries 4-0.
Great, thank you.
By the way, for the record, I will state that there were no public speakers for this item.
Thank you very much. And on that note, looks like we might be able to adjourn a little earlier today at 11:58. Hoo-hoo, what a record. And our next meeting will be on, the full board meeting will be January 27th, Tuesday, 9:30 a.m., same place, same channel. Thank you very much, everybody. Happy New Year.